Welcome to Store Talk. So today with us on Stewart Talk, we have with us one of Scott's all-time legends. I looked up to this guy when we was in school, man. He put in so much hard work. He was the representative of hard work, dedication, and the one who was a lead by example. Like we got to really see him in the gym. We got to really see him putting in the work, getting the points, and we kind of looked up to him, as we started our journey. Today with us, we have Mr. Jeremy King. How you doing today?
Good, Denwell. How we doing, bro?
Good, man. So how did this basketball journey start off with you? What age was you when you first got started?
Uh, Man, I'd probably say about maybe 10 years old.
10
You
years
know,
old.
and it wasn't really I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't at that time frame, I don't think it was a journey. It was just, there wasn't no cell phones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I go to the park. You had to find entertainment. So you gotta go to the park and go hoop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I guess, the journey began without me knowing it was really a hoop journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When did you know that your skills were excelling and you were leading the pack and you were evolving and you were getting really good? Like, man, I can really take this basketball thing somewhere.
Ooh, you stumped me right there. You want me to be honest?
Yeah,
I,
yeah, God.
uh Man, Delwan, man, to be honest, man, it's only really for real a handful of people that notice what I'm about to say. Like, man, I played basketball to stay out of trouble, man. I was a troublemaker. You know what I mean? You know, I, you know, for me to, it was when Mr. Williams, Coach Ben Williams, shout out to Ben Williams. Yeah, shout out to Mr. Williams. Love you, man. Um, he told me, he was like, man, basketball can take you some places. And it never crossed my mind until he said it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I knew his coaching history and the guys, he coached several NBA guys, you know what I mean? So I was like, man, I really still didn't kind of take it all in. I listened, but I can't really honestly say that, what I'm saying, that it all soaked in. But uh I would say for you to answer that question, my bad taking so long, but I think for me to know that it was Mr. Williams that kind of gave me that validation, like, this can take you some places.
Yeah, and that's good that you say that. And the reason why I use this platform to spotlight different players that made an impact in our city or in different schools or different areas, because everybody, their journey is different. Everybody's testimony, everybody's what they went through is different. Because there's kids out there to know that you might need to play a sport, that tap into that sport to stay out of trouble, because so many people is lacking identity, so they're straddling. They want to be in the streets, but they really good at sports, but they don't know how to go back and forth. So that's good that you said that. So to a young person listening out there, you might need to tap in and go in harder into your sports, whether it's your craft, whether it's music, whatever you're doing, to keep you away from doing different things or getting in trouble. What did that leadership role come about with you? Because you were a leader at school. Like, we was freshmen looking up to you. It was times our coaches during games couldn't even get us intact. You would say something out the crowd, or you would say something, and we looking at you and different things like that. When did that part come, or did it just was in you, natural?
Then I think it was for me, like you said, you was a freshman. Like for me, when I was a freshman, who took me under my wing, shout out to LH, LaShawn Howard,
Yeah.
uh,
Shout
was a
out.
senior. Make sure you get him too get a hold of LaShawn. Shout out to LH. He was a
Yeah.
senior, and he was signed to Syracuse my freshman year. So, I looked up to him, and he took me under his wing, and just kind of watching him. Like you said, you watched me as a freshman. I watched him and how he went about things. He'd pick me up in the morning in the summer. We'd go to the gym, So I think I picked it up from LaShawn Howard, man, to be honest.
Yeah. What does the Scott High School pride mean to you?
Oh, man. It's to describe Scott High School pride, man, dedication, pain, joy. And the pain is because, when we was there, and I'm not discounting kids that's there now, when we was there, it was, to be honest, it was a lot of pressure because we were expected to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, I repeat myself. I'm not trying to knock today's kids at 2400 Collingwood. I love y'all. Shout out to the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But when we was in the building, I guess the pressure comes from the older Bulldogs that want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was expect us to win. You know what I mean? So that's why I say, describe Scott pride. It most definitely was some pain. You know what I mean? Just everything, man. It's so many different emotions, man, at Scott High School, man. And at the end of the day, I love them all. The hard work, the dedication, man. I love it all.
Yeah. What do you think could be done to get that basketball back at a high level in the City League and even at Scott and around the area?
Another good question, that one. For me, just my personal opinion, I'm not saying I'm right. When I look at us, and I'm sure there's some things behind the scenes as far as hiring goes, which we'll call that political things. I'm sure that's what's going on. I'm not pointing the finger at nobody, but just knowing how things like that go down. It sounds so cliche, but it's really that simple. You gotta have a bulldog to coach those kids. Somebody that walked in those hallways because him or her understand the legacy and what's went on in that building 30, 40, 50 years ago. Like I said, when we were there, we were expected to win. We were expected. You know what I'm saying? There was expectations, You go in the field house and you look, you know what I mean? When we had study table, Coaches talking to us, Mr. Williams, Coach Earl, Coach Abernathy, whoever it was, Coach Crum, they're speaking to us about our past history. You know what I mean? So for us to get back, and it's not hard, I think to start for us to get back, for me, grab one of these Bulldogs that, that went through the pain, went through the joy, and know all about 2400 Collingwood. I think it's that simple. Yeah, I think, and I don't have no disrespect towards anybody else that's Coach Scott and never went to Scott. There's no disrespect to them, but I just feel for us, you need somebody that's been there.
Yeah.
And you say real quick, when you say around the city, try a local summer league. You know what I mean? Try a local summer league, and I know AAU is so huge. Or maybe try a spring summer league, man, with just only Toledo kids to build that competition within the city. You know what I mean? Because like I said, to me it's so simple. But I'm going back when we came up, we went to the parks. You know, it's that simple. We went to parks to find competition. You know what I'm saying? Little did we know it was our everyday thing, but we was actually getting better at our craft.
Yeah.
Now you can go through any city in America, man. You don't have too many kids at parks.
So, and that's causing them to start being in trouble, like you said, and not working on their game. And then another thing, I was talking to someone else too, and they were saying about the AAU team. A lot of the kids ain't playing together. So like you saying, they not all getting better. They taking, let me grab this player. So now they getting better. And now all the other ones' talent is just the same. So when they come back to the team, it's one or two players that's over excelling everybody else, and now the team not really good as it could be. When you speaking of like different crimes and different things on there, how important is being a mentor, and what can we do to get the kids off the street for the crimes and stuff can like kind of decreasing and the crime rate can go down?
Again, man, it's to me it's simple. Just you have to have resources for these kids, man. We got all of these parks that's available. We can go to the park. It don't cost us anything just to pull up to the park and bounce a ball or throw a football. Doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
So put resources uh, into finding the guys that got the time to get these kids together, wherever sport it is, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, get them together. Get them together. Let's compete. Good competition. Or else these kids that got too much time on their hands. Again, to me, it's just real simple, man. You got the economy is what it is. So you got moms and fathers working 2 jobs, some of them 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Big brother, big sister is at home taking care of the household. So maybe one of those siblings not listening and they can stray and they got time to stray in the streets and do whatever. But we got abundance of parks in Toledo, man. Put the money into some resources of some of these people. Now, is it going on? To be honest with you, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's the part I can't answer. But when you ask that question, how can we get these kids out the streets? Put the resources behind sports.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the young kids, if they got a mentor, if they look up to somebody and that person they looking up don't know he a mentor, but they follow them, they need to be able to be directing them in the right path, because ain't nobody say look up to JK, look up to Squirt, look up to Peebo, and look up to Rob. Ain't nobody tell us that. We kind of looked and seen what y'all was doing, and y'all kept us on our grind and kept us on focus to what we need to be doing, and we just knew that that's what to do. So sometimes they looking at these older people that's doing the wrong thing and they're following them, and the people that got the power to be able to be like, hey, don't do that, or that ain't cool, they don't do it. They trying to be their friend, or they trying to be their big homie in the wrong way. So I feel like that would help as well. And like you said, just get the resources to get the different leagues out, like the City Park League. Like that was cool, but continue it, like and different leagues at the park, have the security, or have it to where it's a skills camp. We got different people being trainers. Like you said, the park is free. Call out and say, hey, I'm coming up here, because it's people that want to pour out, that want to do it, but they need to be able to just do it. Like you said, as easy as it is, but it needs to be done. Man, that's good though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the simple things, man. Getting back to it, man. What would you
Absolutely.
tell a young high school player that might be undecided about going to school to, further his basketball, but he don't know what school to go to? He want to go D1, but D2 might be an option. Picking schools, what advice would you have as far as that, going to school for basketball or any sport?
Okay. My advice to somebody, to a kid that got a couple schools off, I would say do your homework from a standpoint of him and his mentor or parents. When they get recruited by somebody, pay attention to how much they invested in them outside of the sport. What I mean is their well-being and talking about just life in general, what you want to do afterwards. Because when you have those type of conversations, I think that coach is trying to look after that kid and make sure that kid gets the best opportunity, or is a good opportunity is available for that kid to display their skill at the next level. You know what I mean? So because you got coaches that are, let's be honest, the business side, it's a job. When you get to the college level, it's a business. So
Yeah.
they go do what they do to get some talent in there, and might not give that kid a fair opportunity because they never really invested in that kid's well-being. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So my advice for that kid, pay attention to that recruiter and how involved that recruiter is to see that kid succeed just in life.
Yeah. Yeah, man, great info, man. We appreciate you coming on with us, man. Like I said, you one of my favorite Scott Bulldogs, man. Always been a big bro mentor, man. And you know, I had to get some words from you because you lived it, and your path is different from somebody else's, but somebody else could be going through the same thing and need to hear that. So we really appreciate you for taking this time out to speak and talk with us, man. Love you, bro. Appreciate it. It's been great.
Yes, love you too, Delmont. Anytime, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, talk to you soon, bro.
You too.
Peace.